Hello, everyone. We are back again with another episode of our weekly podcast. We are the Football Tailgaters, and we go over hot topics in the NFL. As always, we have here Yams, who's a Jets fan, Andy, who's an unbiased NFL fan, and I'm Aaron, the Cowboys fan in this group. We've got a lot to unpack this week. A lot of surprises, a lot of disappointments. So, as always, we're going to go over our weekly biggest disappointment, weekly biggest surprise as well. We got some main talk. We got topics about the Patriots, the Jets, the Bears, and the Steelers. And at the very end, we got the fantasy updates with our week 4 picks. So let's dive into this. Let's get warmed up here and start up with our weekly biggest disappointment. What is that for you guys?
Is this obvious or not? The NFL robbing the chance of the Jets of trying to win Sunday night.
For me, the biggest disappointment is the Miami Dolphins after that huge win over last week's game to this week's and just losing big time against the Buffalo Bills. Like, what happened? They just lost their mojo for some reason, or Buffalo Bills just figured out a way to just figure their game plan out to just beat them easily.
I'm going to jump on that as well and say the biggest disappointment for this week is the Miami Dolphins losing big to the Bills. And the Bills were able to keep Tyreek Hill without a single touchdown. And if I'm pretty sure, I don't think a lot of the receivers did much. So congrats to the Bills for putting up a great like set of just a whole defense that they had going on. It was just impressive because when you compare it to last week, those 70 points that the Dolphins dropped now to this, the Bills came up big and Josh Allen looked great too. So good for them. Now let's move over to weekly biggest surprise. What is that for you guys?
My biggest surprise is Zach Wilson, actually, for last night's Sunday night football game. He actually looked like a quarterback. He was making the good throws, over shoulder throws and catches in the end zone, and he was moving around the pocket really good. That was my biggest surprise.
For me, it's back-to-back Jets. For me, it's the same thing. It's Zach Wilson showed that he could be an NFL quarterback in this league, throwing the darts that he did, the dimes that he did on Sunday night, so everyone can see in front of Taylor Swift that he is a competent quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to be original here, but really the surprise here was finally Zach Wilson looked good. He looked good. Now, this is a step forward in the right direction, right? Maybe because finally Aaron Rodgers was around that area and somehow that was affected, some kind of telekinesis or something like that. But realistically, it was just confidence. I think he just needed the confidence, and he needs to keep that confidence moving on forward. I think this, to some degree, is a win for Zach Wilson. But that one play where he had that fumble on that snap right away, he lost that ball once it got snapped. That's something you can't really do. It happens, right? It's not super common unless you're Lamar Jackson when you're fumbling, when you're trying to give it to the running back or something like that, because he's been doing that a lot this season. But anyways, it's pretty impressive what Wilson has been able to do, and I'm excited to see what Aaron Rodgers is able to, I guess, instill more into him about like this, more, I guess, mentorship and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty good. So 23-20, right? Chiefs won that game. It was pretty controversial. So I want to shift on over to that game, right? I think this is the biggest topic, and I'm sure Yams has a lot to say about this, and there's kind of a lot to unpack, right? It was very chaotic. So around, what was it? I know it was the fourth quarter. It was a very crucial stop that the Jets had to do against the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. The Chiefs were on Jets territory. It was 3rd and 20, and a massive controversial call of a pass interference. Or was it? No, it was holding, sorry. It was holding against, I don't know which one of the, rotating receivers that they have over there with the Chiefs. I don't remember his name, but I do know that I think it was like number 11 or something like that. What's up?
It's the guy from Green Bay, Marquise
MVS?
MVS, that one.
So Marquez Valdez-Scantling, right? Okay, he gets held by Sauce Gardner. And Patrick Mahomes was actually getting pressured. So he throws the ball up there and it's intercepted. And, there's a lot to kind of analyzed there in that clip. Let's just throw out that question to you guys and get you guys going with this. Did the refs steal the game from the Jets?
They robbed him of an opportunity to win that game. Yes, I do agree, because there was a holding call that should have been called against Jermaine Johnson, but instead it came from Sauce Gardner. And you can tell that the referee was holding on to the flag, and he was debating if should I call or not, because if that ball was not intercepted, I don't think he would have called it.
To me, yes, the refs put a lot into this game. To be fair, in the beginning of the game, there was a safety call on the Chiefs, which it shouldn't have been. It should have been a non-call because the face mask was before the end zone. So that was 2 free points for the Jets, even though they were going to punt. And I just want the refs to be consistent on that run that Patrick Mahomes did for like 20 yards to get that first down. There was a huge hold for like 5 seconds for an defensive lineman for the Jets. And if you're going to be not calling those holds, then of course you're not going to be calling that hold in the end of the game, so you can give the Chiefs basically the win for the game.
So it's a little bit tricky because the refs were pretty inconsistent in this game. There were some other calls that it was very blatant. If I'm not wrong, it was that same possession where Patrick Mahomes had all day to throw, and there was some very clear holding going on that line of scrimmage. That was missed. I feel like there was just, the whole safety thing too. And you just got to keep it one way or the other. If you're calling the game if you're just calling these barely holding calls and you got to do that across like the whole game, or if you're not calling these blatant calls, you kind of even it out. There's this whole pressure with the referees. Now you got to remember these guys are human, right? And you can't just assume of like the things that they do with these certain these certain calls that they do with the penalties. But yes, I do agree. It is some kind of consistency issue that they have going on. And the NFL needs to really step up on that and take advantage of the opportunity to fix these problems before it gets even more, it gets worse. This has been a thing for who knows how long, right? You had that whole in the playoffs, if I'm not wrong, with the Saints and the Rams. The clear pass interference call that led to these pass interference review calls, which just slowed down the game even more. And it's just a headache, right?
No.
So how do you fix this?
The thing is that as long as the refs keep consistent, supposedly in each game, the refs are come into agreement. Either are they going to let these players play and not call everything unless it's hugely blatant, or you're going to be calling mostly every single foul that you see. And in this case, last night against the Jets against the Chiefs, it was inconsistent. They were calling some fouls and not calling some fouls. And that's just the frustration for me. If just be consistent and throughout the game of what you're going to be doing. If you're not going to be calling that foul, that holding that allowed Patrick Mahomes to run for 20-something yards at the end of the game, then don't call that end cornerback holding at the end. But just be consistent.
It's also it's different referees. There's 6 referees.
Yeah, but like I said, they get together to supposedly right?
to argue.
Yeah,
about
no.
Yeah.
Before the game starts, they get to be in and for them kind of to be similar. Are they going to be calling the flags, or are they just going to let these players play?
Yep.
I do have one question for you guys, though. There's a controversy about Taylor Swift.
I was just about to get into
Taylor Swift being on the NFL games, which brings him a new market to viewing these games. And it reminds me of a time that when Jessica Simpson was coming into the Dallas Cowboy games, and every time that she went, the Cowboys lost. And so the fans booed her off, and she stopped going to the games. I don't think that's a situation that the NFL wants. They want to bring in more people to watch the game, and maybe it was a controversy to actually make the Chiefs win, and that's why the ref threw the flag after it was intercepted.
Of course, they want to keep the viewership going. Now, did you know this Sunday night Chiefs-Jets game, audience peaked at more than 29 million viewers in the second quarter?
Yeah, how does that compare?
That is most watched Sunday night show. Well, not show. Yeah, I guess you can call it a show.
Mm-hmm.
Right? since the Super Bowl, the last Super Bowl.
Well, we've only had 4 weeks.
Okay, but it matched the Super Bowl.
Did it match the Super Bowl? How many
Yes.
people were watching the Super Bowl? I think it's like the highest views since the Super Bowl.
Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. What do you...
I heard something else. I heard that the Chiefs-Jets game took a dip on ratings, about like 4 million less viewers compared to when she first showed up on the first game against the Bears. So
No,
there's some clear discrepancies here, and this is why I can't really bank on these conspiracy theories of like, you know, the market is dependent on, you know, the situation.
Right.
So Taylor Swift comes in with Kelsey, you know, oh yeah, it brings great viewership. I think it's just more like this company's taking advantage of her being there. That's why the camera's on her every few seconds, because they're taking advantage of that. But I don't think there's some kind of like, you know, working out a deal behind the scenes or whatever. There is a lot of pressure though, and you know, you can say whatever you want, but at the end of the day, we won't really know. We won't really know.
But it's definitely part of marketing, and they're tapping into an untapped market among young females, Swifties, if you want to call them Swifties. And there, a lot of people probably, you know, watch the show or.
Well, can we like agree that even okay, fine, the Swifties will watch it, but it's just not going to be like forever.
Well, you never know. What about a third of those Swifties becomes either?
Maybe a 10th.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, like I don't think it's gonna
fan,
be a
but
huge
still.
change.
But
It's a way to grow the market.
I will agree that the media has been putting too much emphasis on Taylor Swift joining the football and
Because
go
it
to
helps
the game.
them.
Yeah, it helps them. That it is
Of
a
course they're gonna
situation
take
that they
advantage.
are pushing it. Yeah, of course. So because
pushing it
I'm not
hard,
I'm not a big Taylor Swift fan, and I was really surprised on how much attention they put on the singer to be in the game. I've seen other celebrities be on games and they don't make such a huge deal. But in this case, they did.
Yeah, but this is a whole developing story because this is so unique because you don't have like, I don't know, this is a player and celebrity relationship going on. It's Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, and Travis Kelce is a very outgoing person and he's very talkative about what's going on. So it's gonna garner a lot of attention, obviously. If you got someone like, I don't know, someone a lot more quiet, I have no clue. It's just it's a very specific scenario that of course they're gonna take advantage of it, right?
I remember
like,
when the
I don't know.
Kardashian was even dating Reggie Bush, and
Yep.
I mean, it
Like,
wasn't
this
such
is
a
nothing
huge
new.
deal, yeah. Or
The only difference is the internet is more prominent at this time than it was during those
I
times
would
that it's
agree with
happened
that.
before.
Yeah,
So the internet is very, very powerful, and right now it's never been stronger. It's been at its strongest than like ever before, right? So of course it's gonna have that kind of impact.
yeah.
And we're seeing this unfold, and you're seeing all kinds of reactions. You're saying like, "Oh, I'm so sick of the media, like that Taylor Swift this, Taylor Swift that, blah blah blah, whatever," right? Because like that's all they see because they're always on their phones looking and
Which is
scrolling. They
part
want
of
to see football,
marketing.
whatever.
Whatever this is going
And-
on, it's part of marketing. Even if it's social.
But you're gonna say, what are you gonna say? Like Travis Kelce got paid to date her? Like where's the line?
Can
drawn,
I say that without
you know?
sounding crazy? Why not? You know
It's
how
just-
many followers he has grown? Almost 900,000 followers on Instagram since making this public.
We'll never know in the end. It does sound like there's some
Exactly.
logic to it, but I mean, we'll never know into the end. It's a conspiracy theory, so there's going to be some believers and some not. And in this case, I'm not a believer
We're
of
never
that.
gonna know. Yeah.
I'm just.
Well, I mean, it makes sense to keep the Chiefs winning.
I'll be more
and-
on your side if they break up really quickly or after the season right away.
Oh, of course, that'll
Yeah.
happen. Did you see the NFL page? Did any of you guys see the NFL page after the game ended?
No.
On Twitter or X? If you go on X and you see their page, you see Taylor Swift on the cover page, right? And in the
Yeah, of
bio, it
course.
says, "We had the best day with you today."
Mhm.
And then it says, "Chiefs are 2-0 as Swifties."
Yeah, they want her back on every single game.
They want her back.
Mhm.
The Jets fans went berserk on the internet, on Twitter, or on X, I'm sorry. And the next morning I wake up, they took it off.
Well, now you'll know that. Yeah, I know, it's very true.
No, I mean, this is so common. You see this with like not as popular things. It's just you don't pay attention to it because it's not as popular. This has been done before. The NFL changes its header, its description all the time. It's happened before. It's only new because it's Taylor Swift, that she's generational talent, and everything's on her right now because she's a generational talent.
People are taking more notice to that and that change.
Of
because
course,
it's
you're not
Taylor
gonna
Swift.
notice
Right.
because like I don't know if they change it to like Patrick Mahomes and like he did a crazy throw and that's the header, and then it said a description about Patrick Mahomes or whatever, or like let's say like when the Black Cat was at the Giants and Cowboys game, that was a thing that they changed their header. They were all about it because it just garnered attention. It's all about they're trying to pull in the amount of viewership as much as possible and like just be as relatable and be funny and whatever, but they're so disconnected from the audience because they're just trying to get money. That's all it is. That's what it comes down to.
But it was so
But
strange
I don't think
how like last night, like there was an amount of celebrities even like more shown to celebrities. I know it's part of her clan.
yeah, it's New York,
But-
it's really popular. Same thing with Los Angeles Chargers. You got like big celebrities down there too because it's Los Angeles.
You had Deadpool and Wolverine there, and the camera was on Taylor Swift instead.
yeah, because she's been like the topic with Travis Kelce.
Are
It's
they
just the
bigger
whole
than
thing,
her,
you know.
Are you saying? Are they
Yes.
more known than her?
Yes.
I would
Yes.
think that
yes.
in general,
1,000,000%
NFL fans would
yes.
prefer seeing Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds there than Taylor Swift.
Of course, but they don't care. They want the more popular person.
Yeah. Well, like I guess we can all agree that this is a big marketing scheme in a way. Well, even though they're just dating, right? But the NFL is just taking a hold of this
Yeah,
relationship so they can make it bigger, so
Mhm.
they can get an uncapped market and bring it that new market into to watch the game.
1,000,000%.
Let me read this
Yeah,
one
that's
sentence from
obvious.
NBC here. Viewership increased among female across all age groups, adding more than 2 million female viewers. It's an untapped market. Females don't watch the sport. Not everyone,
Yeah, and
but
it's gonna die off. Everyone's gonna forget about it. It's always a cycle. This is always gonna happen. It's always been a thing. It's just we're all more aware of it now, and people don't like being more aware of it. Clearly, because you're seeing some people being upset about it, and then these women that are like tuning into the game and stuff like that, they're gonna see it and it's like, oh, it's delicious, whatever. And in a couple of weeks, it's gonna die down because they're like, I don't care about football.
Watch the commercials the next time the Chiefs play, and it's going to be about more women commercials than the general beer commercials that we see.
it's
Yeah,
it's
I
too.
mean,
It
yeah,
can't.
it'll be interesting to see.
You
that.
can't make this up. You saw Bar's, what's his name, Dave Portnoy, right? This video. You pause the YouTube TV, and it's an emoji of a heart. You can't make this up. And as soon as the commercial takes off, or right before the game started, it was a commercial for Taylor Swift Around the World Generational Tour, whatever she's doing. It came up. I mean,
Well,
look,
she also has a Capital One commercial that's been around for years.
all right, I see what you're trying to do, but all right.
I mean, I'm just saying. It's just.
But that's
go
her
back to the
Capital One.
topic,
This is her
Is it
own,
Taylor Swift's fault the Jets lost?
This is her own film.
Because that's what
No,
the
it's not
the
her
question is
fault. It's
turning
not her
into.
fault, but it's definitely, I put a lot of the blame on the refs. Yes, the Jets put themselves in the hole in the beginning with 17 points, but they robbed them of the opportunity towards the end.
Yeah, we don't
because
know
there
what would
was
happen.
Yeah.
a 5-second, almost 16,
course.
6 seconds, a hold on Jermaine Johnson, and that's when
Yes.
Mahomes was able to scramble. Everyone
Yes.
saw that.
They would have to make a
Yeah, yeah,
touchdown because they would go for a field goal at that point. It would be
Of course.
26-20, and now it would be up to Zach Wilson to make a touchdown,
Exactly.
which he did.
Of course.
He did play well throughout the game, but we don't know.
Which they,
I would feel more that it wouldn't
it
happen.
wouldn't happen. Okay, sure, but
You can also say he shouldn't have fumbled the ball.
he shouldn't have fumbled the ball. No. But why do you decide to throw the flag after the fact that it got an interception? Because the ball would have gone back to the Jets, and they only needed a field goal to tie the game.
By the way, Patrick Mahomes, he screwed a lot of betting individuals
By
out there.
starting.
Yeah, for their bets.
Yep.
The spread was there for the taking for the Chiefs to score a touchdown and just have the spread, and it didn't happen. Ending score 23-20, and the spread was, I believe, like 8.5 points or 9.5 points.
I think the flag thing was all right. The timing of it, I don't think there was much to it. She was throwing it onto where the play was going. So unless you want to throw it at a Chiefs player and then say, oh, the ref screwed the Chiefs player, and then, I don't know, like, there could have been, like, a whole other, like, people complaining about this thing. So I don't think there's much to it. I think the refereeing in this game was very inconsistent, and that's the problem with, I think, some of these games, not the majority, but this is a result of how it can screw a team over, and we've seen this plenty of times. It's every season. It's just, we're always mad at it. It's just up to the NFL. What's going to happen? How, like, they should be stricter on how consistent they want to be. Are they going to call really bad, like, barely holding calls, or are they just gonna go
It's
on the
just
more
like the Super Bowl.
blatant side?
Yeah, it's just like the Super Bowl. Like that holding that the Eagles did with again against the Kansas City Chiefs. It was like a really quick hold, and it cost them the game. The Eagles to have an opportunity to win the game. It's the same situation. But anyways, that's my rant for this one.
The Jets got robbed of an opportunity to score and possibly win the game. Mm-hmm. We can admit that. So yes, to some degree, it was stolen. Could have they won the game? I don't know if they could have, but there was a good chance if they had the ball back.
I would have said they robbed Zach Wilson of that opportunity to fix his image.
It's a team, so it's a whole.
No, everyone was writing off Zach Wilson, including you.
Yeah, I have to see.
Go back to the last podcast. He said this is his last game playing.
This is the last game playing if he doesn't show up. And he showed up. If he doesn't play well, I said this is his last game, and the Jets are going to have to move on. Yeah,
maybe you said if he doesn't show up, but everyone said that it was his last game of his career.
Okay, so just to kind of end it here, they're going against the Broncos in the afternoon. This is his chance, and it's in Denver. This is his chance to get a win and change the direction of this team right now. If they can't win this Broncos game, they're in deep trouble. That's all I'm going to say. You guys good with that?
Agreed.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I was getting no response.
No, it really depends on if he's consistent. If he's not consistent, we go back again to the situation that...
This is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, they need to run the ball more because what Breece Hall is doing, and I'm not just saying that because he's in my fantasy team. I think, like, genuinely, what we're seeing from Breece Hall, he's getting there, and they're misusing them, I would say. Yes, misusing is the right word, I guess. They need to run the ball more. They need to figure that out. So this is a great opportunity to get back, get a W, and right after they're going against the Eagles, it's going to be tough. And then they got the Giants, which is easier, then the Chargers, so on. But for now, Broncos is what's next. And they gotta fix their stuff, and they're getting there.
They can do it. They do have an elite defense, so I do believe in the defense. Look what they did to Patrick Mahomes. It was turnover after turnover. It can happen.
Oh, yeah.
This is a must-win game for them to continue that role. Against the Eagles, they struggled so much against the Washington Commanders. They went into overtime, and I know it's a divisional game, but still, I still see an opportunity there. That offense that the Philadelphia Eagles have is not the same anymore. They do still have a good defense. I will give that to them. But the offense is just not the same. So they still have a chance that. And then they have the Giants, that's another winnable game. Yep. So it's a big chance to turn it around, like you said.
Yep. All right, Zach Wilson needs to forget about that fumble, forget about this game. They just take on the positive stuff.
And Rodgers needs to move back to New Jersey.
He'll be back at the bye.
Well, that's maybe too late. It's not too late, but I'm just saying it'll help a lot. a lot if he's there. What a coincidence that he comes and he talks to the team, motivates the team. Basically, he's the leader, he's the captain, and Zach Wilson played lights out, basically.
Well, I mean, maybe somebody told him, like, hey, kid, you got to show up or else your career's over.
I'm sure they've been telling that, but because it's coming from this guy, it's different. It's a different situation. I mean, anybody can give you advice in life, but it has to be somebody that you respect. Connection. What? Mm-hmm. I'm sorry?
No, it's going to be a better connection because, I mean, it's a position that the guy's playing, so you can connect better with him.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's only so much you can do with the coach,
it's
right?
Aaron Rodgers. It's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL history.
So, Bill Belichick. Oh, boy. The New England Patriots against the Cowboys happened this past Sunday, and the Cowboys defense did what the Cowboys defense does on a good day and created turnovers and also scored twice. One on a fumble and one on an interception, a pick six. Deron Bland looks amazing. Anyways, this is going to be about Bill Belichick more than the Cowboys. Should Bill Belichick be on the hot seat?
I still say not yet, but he needs to change rather quickly because he is continuing to use Mac Jones as if it's Tom Brady, right? Trying to make it work with mediocre weapons, and he doesn't have the weapons around him. So it's either create a team around Mac Jones to help him more, or get yourself an elite quarterback that does work with those type of weapons.
Bill Belichick is not going to get fired unless the whole team quits on him and they're just lose constantly like they did yesterday. That's the only way I can see Bill Belichick being fired. But no, this seat of his position as a Patriots NFL coach, That's his for the entirety of his career. Like many other teams in the NFL, they need a quarterback. Mac Jones is not the quarterback for them. We saw too many mistakes, and it seems like it's just the type of quarterback that he is, that he just doesn't know when to throw it, and he doesn't have that big, strong arm that NFL quarterbacks need. It is going to have to be time to move on in this next NFL draft if it keeps going that way.
Bill Belichick has a good chance to really tank this season, right? Obviously, it doesn't seem like it fits his type of persona, but Caleb Williams is sitting there right there. They got to compete against clearly the worst team, the Bears, right? But he's got a good chance to really turn this around and make this team really good and draft Caleb Williams and have a really good draft. They need to move on from Mac Jones. Now, to answer the question, is he on the hot seat? Not currently. But if he can't do anything in the next 2 years, I think so. Because you got to be patient with the guy that, he created a lot of success for your organization. So you got to be very patient with this guy. But, he's trying his things, And to what extent can he try, right? You got to see some kind of positive production.
I can't blame everything on Mac Jones as well. Just I know that I've been hurting Mac Jones. I talk really bad about him. But who is the star wide receivers? Honestly, the kid doesn't have too many weapons. Yeah, no, it's a team that if Tom Brady was there playing with non big time weapons, I totally see that Tom Brady can still do it as he's done before. But Mac Jones, no, he does need help.
It's like if they're back to where they were last year, right? They got rid of Matt Patricia and Joe Judge, and they got Bill O'Brien, and things still don't look better. It's the weapons, it's the quarterback, it's just overall the offense is a mess. And coming from as a Jet fan, that offense is a mess. Except I think Hunter Henry's a good ad, but the rest I'm not.
And Gesicki too.
Yep, the two tight ends.
That's all they have. That's all they have. And then they
need to work on
a semi-washed Zeke. He's pretty washed, sadly.
Yeah, he is. 28.
Stevenson isn't so hot. And, they got Juju Smith-Schuster. They got Devontae Parker back. Kendrick Bourne. It's just, you need guys out there. But is that really a Bill Belichick thing? When's the last time he's had a star wide receiver?
The GM.
Julian Edelman? Like, what?
Edelman, yeah.
He's the GM. He should have had the weapons. He should have built this team.
He had a chance to get Hopkins.
Yeah. Well,
they didn't commit.
And I just don't think Mac Jones is it.
He's tried to get big time weapons before, and it just doesn't work out. I remember when he got Chad Johnson, and Chad Johnson was just nowhere to be seen when he was there.
And Mac Jones just needs to learn also to take care of the ball. He was sacked of the ball, had a touchdown from from that. Then he threw across the field twice. The first one he got away with. Mm-hmm. You don't do that. And then the second time, come on.
The cornerback.
They're not gonna let you get away with it again. Yeah. So you gotta make smart decisions. So he threw away the game.
Mm-hmm. He threw away the game. Also, I don't know. It's just he sucked. But you got to give the guy some weapons. So it's also kind of it's hard. But you're in the position they're currently in. You can't have that guy there. So you need someone who can really, I guess, be more explosive, more just better. They need someone in the draft, really. Who are they going to get off the free agency or maybe trade? It's kind of hard.
I don't think they're going to get anybody in the trade. I think they're just going to get someone off the draft. They're going to move on from Mac Jones or make him backup. Because Bailey Zappi is it's not better. He has nowhere. They have nowhere to go.
Yeah, it's real tough. I don't know. It feels like not on the hot seat yet. Doesn't feel like that just yet. But maybe if I check back later in the season, depending on how they do. I got to see their schedule because I don't know their schedule. So they got the Saints, Raiders, Bills in the next 3 games.
And it's going to get worse because they lost cornerback Christian Gonzalez and Judon.
And they're the division. Look at the division. It's tough. They barely won against the Jets, and that's because the Jets, they had a whole mess going on. So you can use that as a reason of why they got away with the win. It was 15-10.
Well, it's because Belichick
they can't beat the Bills. They can't beat the Dolphins. They can lose to the Jets in the very last game. Aside from that, this schedule looks tough. It looks tough for them. And they got to win in a very Bill Belichick fashion. And I don't know if they can really do that. I don't know what happened to Christian Gonzalez. Did he come back? I think he was done for the rest of the game, right?
Well,
did we figure out what was wrong with him?
Judon and Christian Gonzalez, they're going to be out for indefinitely. It was announced. So I guess they're just going to do more tests and see how they're going to be working out. Yeah, it was.
That's a huge blow to their defense.
Yeah.
There's 2 of their stars just gone. So it's not going to get any better. No. Yeah, just tank for Caleb Williams. That's it. Like, that's it. It sucks. Unless you can find a way to really fix this. But how are you going to fix that? Can't, right? Like, what?
Yeah, it comes to a situation for it to be another quarterback. But again, they have to fix their ways to get more weapons or better weapons for the quarterback as well, especially if it's a rookie.
Since he's the general manager, he's got to do it.
Yep.
So I wonder what he's up to, but he's got to change things quickly.
I don't know.
Or else it's going to get really ugly.
Are you telling me that 3 Alabama quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts, Tua, and Mac Jones, from those 3, 2 of them are successful so far, and 1 can't?
Who knows if you put Mac Jones in a situation,
in a better situation, right?
Yeah. I wouldn't say that his NFL career is completely over, but I just see his arm strength and his I guess his throw accuracy, and sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not, but it's not a good clean quarterback type of throws. So I don't know.
I just feel like Belichick is just doing what he used to do with Tom Brady, is make it work with these average Joes. You know, Tom Brady was able to make it work, and he's trying to do the same thing with Mac Jones. That's my take.
Yeah. Well, now the Patriots had to come back to reality after the Tom Brady era.
Finally.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now you're in the same.
It's getting pretty annoying.
In the fair playing field.
It was really satisfying to see the 38-3 score. Really, really satisfying. Anyways, let's go into our extras here. We got the Chicago Bears. Oh boy, man, that game was something else. Chicago Bears blew I guess they were winning, and then they just absolutely just awful. Just they lost the lead against the Broncos. The Broncos were able to come back and win the game 31-28. Are the Chicago Bears the worst team in the NFL?
The Bears look like an actual NFL team for 3 quarters straight, and there's different ways to go 0-4 by getting there by allowing 24 unanswered points to a different winless team. You are the worst team in the NFL.
Well, there's 2 teams that are 0-2 right now, which is the Panthers and the Chicago Bears.
0-2?
0-3.
There's 2 teams right now that are 0-4.
Or 0-4.
Which is the Chicago Bears and the Carolina Panthers. So as for those 2, I'm gonna say that it is the Bears, and it's just because of their NFL situation of how to handle situational plays. For example, they had the opportunity to actually score a field goal and try and give your defense a chance to beat the Denver Broncos, but because of analytics that the head coach Eberflus uses, they decided to go for it on 4th down, and it just didn't go their way. But with analytics, I'm going to say that the analytics is not going to give you what play that you have to do in order for you to convert at that 4th down. So unfortunately, they lost.
Yeah, this was an exciting game because it was the worst against the worst. It was kind of this game was tagged as the who is going to be the worst NFL team here. And yeah, you could argue that maybe even the Panthers are pretty bad. But hey, look, ahead of the schedule, there is a couple weeks, though. November 9th, it is the Panthers against the Bears. If they lose all their games, that's insane, which is, I don't know how hard that's going to be. But if they're still winless by the time they meet up, that's going to be exciting, let me tell you. Who's going to be the absolute worst? Because someone has to lose, right? But there's still tons
at that point left, is one going to be tanking? That's the question. Well, no.
Yeah.
Actually, the Panthers, I don't think they would be tanking.
No.
Unless,
they
could just to get that first overall, even though they do have Bryce Young and they're not going to get Caleb Williams. But hey, here's the first round for the taking. Anybody that wants to trade up a whole multiple of first rounds, of course, there's going to be.
Can I bring another argument to that? Because last year, guess who was number 1?
The Panthers.
Well, they got that because they got it. It was traded to them.
Oh, because of the Bears.
Exactly, because of the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Their Bears are trending in that direction again. So, yes, they are still the worst team in the NFL. If they got the first round pick the first overall pick last year, and they're 0-4. That tells you the whole story. And it's not.
Yeah, they got the first 2 picks.
Yeah, it's not just in field, right? I mean, yes, it has questionable throws and questionable not being able to see the field, but that has a lot to do with the coaches.
How do you get your quarterback to throw for 4 touchdowns, have your running back run for 100 yards, and a wide receiver to go over 100 and a touchdown, and still lose?
That tells me that the defense didn't do their part. I know that Justin Fields threw some interceptions, but still, you still need the defense to step up and stop the Denver Broncos. Continue that consistency that you were doing in the beginning of the game.
Russell Wilson went for 21 out of 28 throws, right? And he got 3 touchdowns. He was sacked once. So, yeah. I know I was watching the game, so I had that multi-view thing. So I was looking at it, and I was seeing at the beginning it was pretty defensive, both of them. But then the Bears defense started to kind of collapse against them. Obviously, I mean, they had that huge comeback. Because it was 21-7 at the halftime in favor of the Bears. So it was good for them. And then at the very end, fourth quarter, the Broncos put up 17 points. So the defense just disappeared. And that's a problem. That's a real problem. They got to fix that. They have some pretty good defensive pieces, but they've got a lot to figure out, especially with the front office. I don't know. It's just very tough. And then what do you do with Justin Fields? Do you keep him? Do you grab Caleb Williams? What do you do? There's just so much to figure out with that team. But they gotta get, I think, someone competent that can really not mess this draft up, right? I don't know. It seems tough. So I want to move over to the next topic, which has to do with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So the Steelers went against the Texans, and they lost big time against the Texans. So Texans won 30-6, and we've heard this talk for, 2-3 weeks already. Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator, is getting a lot of negative talk, and they're pretty much trashing him. The fans are trashing him. They want to get rid of him. They want him out of there. They want him out of there. But I'm gonna ask you guys this question because I don't know. You guys might say something else. What is wrong with the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I think they have an everything problem. The OC is not the right one. The quarterback is missing in action. The O-line doesn't hold up. There's not enough skill players. Now the injuries are starting to pile up, and all resulted to a loss to Houston.
Well, the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers have been there for quite sometimes more than a decade. It comes to a certain point that you just need a change so you can actually revamp and have a new breath actually, because there just comes to a time that it's just the same over and over and over again. The offensive coordinator Matt Canada is just awful. That guy needs to go, honestly. This offense is not doing anything. And the quarterback, I think he is just a victim of that offensive scheme. And now he got injured. It seems like it's just a bone bruise, so he might play next Sunday. But if it just keeps going this way, I just put more blame on the offensive coordinator for right now. But if it just keeps going for the whole season, maybe it's a good chance to look at Mike Tomlin and say, hey, thank you for your service, but you're going to have to leave.
Yeah, at some point you do have to look at the head coach, even though he's giving you really, I don't think, a losing season at all. He's giving you winning seasons this whole time. Now, that obviously doesn't always translate to success, right? Because you guys either die off in the playoffs, right? Or just, I don't even think they even make it up at times. So at some point you do need to kind of look at the head coaching position, even though he's a great coach. But what if it's just a limit? You're just stuck there. You can only go so high. Obviously, the offensive coordinator, big issues. I don't really think it's the defense's fault at all because they got a stacked defense. But when you let them put up 30 points on you on a team that's considered to be rebuilding, now I'm not going to take anything away from the Texans. I think they got a great talent with their draft picks, right? With CJ Stroud, and on defensive side, oh my God, what's his name? It's slipping by. Oh my gosh, I can't remember his name.
Well, I don't think Mike Tomlin should get canned or even close to getting canned. Like Aaron just said, he's never brought you a losing season. He made a bad hire at the offensive coordinator, and yes, he needs to get canned as soon as possible. He's not doing.
But at some point, you won a Super Bowl, right? It's been
you won a Super Bowl, yeah. But do you really want to take a crack at some head coaches out there, look at the mess people are in.
I think it's going to be like 15, maybe 16 years since they won the Super Bowl. I believe they did go to the Super Bowl against Aaron Rodgers in 2010, if I'm not mistaken, and they lost. But they haven't even whiffed at a Super Bowl since then.
Golly. He's been the head coach since 2007. And did you say when the last time they went to the Super Bowl?
I believe it was like 08 or 09.
2012?
Well, when's the Super Bowl that they went with against Green Bay?
It was I'm
almost certain that was 2010.
12, no? Or 10? Oh.
Or 11. It was 2010 or 11.
It was in 2010.
It was the 2010 season, yeah, like I was telling you.
No, it was 2011.
For the 2010 season, like it was in 2011 the Super Bowl, but it was the 2010 season.
Right. That was the last time they were at a Super Bowl, and they lost that, by the way, against Aaron Rodgers. That's not good. So at one point, do you? It's because they're scared. They're scared to get rid of Mike Tomlin because he's good.
Yeah.
But he's capped. He's limited. He can only go so far.
I'm sure Mike Tomlin will get some success somewhere else too once he gets rehired somewhere else, because he'll get another job reset. For sure. Look at Andy Reid. How many years was he with the Philadelphia Eagles? And they did go to the Super Bowl in their early 2000s. And they can because after that he couldn't go to the Super Bowl. Now he went to the Kansas City Chiefs. And he did well with Alex Smith before Patrick Mahomes was there, and he's already won 2 Super Bowls. Sometimes you just need a new face and just have to move on. And look what the Eagles had. They got Doug Peterson, and they won the Super Bowl. And they went back to the Super Bowl last year, too. So it's not like the Steelers' future is going down the drain. You just need to get good head coaches. And it seems like the Pittsburgh Steelers is a really good organization to figure that out.
I got a really good hypothetical. What if the Steelers and the Patriots just swapped coaches?
Ooh. I mean,
they both need a reset. They've been. The Steelers have been more stuck than the Patriots.
It's not a bad idea, but it takes some time to build a.
Hey, but that's a perfect reset for both of them. I mean, would they want to do that? I mean, obviously, let them go, and then the best landing spot would be the team that they let go of that coach.
Yeah.
So they would just swap places. That's not a terrible idea.
It's not
It'd
a bad
be very
idea,
interesting
but
to see.
Bill Belichick is like royalty, I think, in Boston. I really doubt that would happen.
He's not going.
No.
But also, don't you think Mike Tomlin is kind of royalty there?
No,
they treat him like he is. No,
I hear some Pittsburgh fans on social media, and that I know as well personally, that are tired of him. It's been years and years and years, but it seems like right now the problem is the offensive coordinator, Matt Canada. And he actually said something very interesting, if I'm not mistaken. He said that this offense that he is in charge of is not built for comebacks.
Who said that?
The offensive coordinator.
He said that?
He said that.
I haven't
That's
seen
a
it.
horrible thing to say.
Look it up.
That's a horrible thing to say.
You have no idea what you're doing.
How does he still have a job?
That's what I'm saying. People want this guy out of there because are you kidding me?
Well, he got booed. They won the game. It was the second week. They won the game and they were booing him. They were saying to I don't know, it was Matt Canada, fire Matt Canada or something
Send
like that.
them to Canada, yeah.
Or send them, yeah. Yeah, not good look for them. Not good for. Ugh, gosh. It's just at some point you got to look at your head coach. But first, I think Matt Canada needs to get out, and then we'll see what happens. Yeah. As of now, this doesn't look that good for the Steelers. I don't think it's. What do they have next? I don't even know. I don't think they can even get close to a playoff this season. They got the Ravens next.
I'm giving them a loss.
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
I want to move on to the fantasy updates here, to the ending of this episode. Let's move on with fantasy updates and then follow up with the week 4 picks.
So for fantasy, for the NFL fantasy, Fanny.
We'll edit it out, don't worry.
Nah, that's fine. For this week 5 fantasy football pickups, I have 3 of them. Number 1, CJ Stroud. If you need a quarterback, if your quarterback's not doing so well, go ahead and pick up this kid because he is playing phenomenal. Yesterday, he just destroyed the Pittsburgh Steelers. He can run, he can throw. He's going to give you some points. So go ahead and pick up CJ Stroud as a quarterback. Next, I have Jaleel Jaleel McLaughlin, the running back from the Denver Broncos. Javonte Williams, he got injured. He has a knee injury. So you need a running back that's like a workhorse, and it seems like he's the next man up. So you have to pick him up if you need a running back. And third, the next one is Romeo Doubs, the wide receiver from Green Bay Packers. He's actually available in 52% of leagues in fantasy. So I would definitely pick him up as he and Jordan Love is having a big chemistry that we've been seeing in the last couple of games, and he is producing really good points. So go ahead and pick him up in your waivers.
Yep, those are really good, especially I think Dobbs, because what does he have like already? He's had like 2 games where he has like 18 points or something like that PPR.
Yeah,
and I'm surprised he's like only 50%.
52%, yeah, and Yams actually has him in her bench.
I actually have an opportunity in my other league to get him, and I really want to. Yeah, he's had the last 2 games 18 points, and then his first week was 18 points as well, and then his second week was the only dud with 5 points. He's pretty good, and seems like a favorite too, because he gets a lot of receptions too.
Yeah, everyone thought that Christian Watson was going to be the guy, once he returns, but no, that chemistry is real, and seems like it's continuing.
Well, give it some time for Christian Watson. He was injured. This is the first season for Jordan Love to take the reins as a quarterback. It just takes time to develop with wide receivers, and Christian Watson, he is a really good wide receiver, so he'll have his time.
I agree with you, and
25 targets in the last 2 games for Dobbs. That's crazy.
That's insane.
That's a favorite. That's a favorite connection.
That is not a bench player.
Yep. All right.
That's insane.
Is there any more disses? Bring them on now.
Why don't you start him? Start him every week.
I'm going to start him every week from now on.
No.
I mean, I start and watch what Watson takes all the snaps.
I know he's just like 2 catches for like a couple yards. Who do they have next? Let's see. They got Las Vegas next. Yeah.
Man.
I think you should start him.
Sure.
You should definitely start him.
I'm starting them. Don't worry about that.
The Raiders are actually trending to be the worst team. Yeah, they have a horrible head coach. Horrible. But anyways.
Well, didn't he murder someone?
Whoa. What?
No.
That's what I heard someone say.
No. That's player Jones that just got caught, but he just got arrested. That's just something that player was saying. He didn't actually even say that McDaniels
yes he did
a murder. No,
yes he did. He tweeted Josh McDaniels murdered what's his name, Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah,
he tweeted.
I don't know. I have to look into that.
Exited.
Well, you took this podcast into
oh my gosh.
It's a joke.
Dark.
It's a
Anyways.
Dark.
I'm not the one who said it.
Anyway, start Romeo Doubs against the Raiders.
I'll tell you that Josh McDaniels is actually killing his team. But anyways, that is something else.
He's committing murder to the team.
Why don't you go over the Week 4 picks?
Yeah, for the Week 5 picks, we already did a quarter of the NFL season, so we're going to this.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're going to the second quarter. Week 5 picks. Let's start with the Chicago Bears against the Commanders and Thursday Night Football in prime time. I am picking the Commanders here because the Bears, we just talked about it. The Bears have so much struggles. They don't know how to play situational football. And the Commanders, they played really well against the Eagles. The Eagles went to the Super Bowl and they actually went into overtime. They almost had the chance to beat them, but it seems that Commanders are getting their groove and they are using their weapons better than the Chicago Bears. So the Commanders to win. Next up, we have the Panthers against the Lions. The Lions are just showing week after week they're just getting better and better and better. And the Panthers, unfortunately, it's still a brand new team. It's a young team. They still have Young. He's still learning. And so the Lions, this is an easy win for them. It's going to be the Lions. Next up, we have the New York Jets against the Denver Broncos. This is a must-win for both teams. The Jets just had a loss that was a little bit robbed, in my opinion, against the Chiefs. And Zach Wilson played tremendous. He played as an NFL quarterback should. And if they keep rolling at them, they can just continue rolling and win multiple games. And the Broncos, same for them. They just won a game against the Chicago Bears. I mean, kudos to them to come up from a 24-0 to come up and win the game, and they just need to keep on rolling to have a chance in getting into the playoffs. But for this game, I'm rolling with the New York Jets because I just got super impressed with Zach Wilson. If he can continue that quarterback play, that I believe so much in that New York Jets defense that they can actually take the win.
That means you're no longer on the Russell Wilson bandwagon, right?
Not as a well. I mean, Russell Wilson played great. I mean, he went from 24-0 all the way to win that
Against
game
the Bears.
against the Bears. Yeah, like I say, it has to be consistent. But right now, because of the defense, I mean, which defense is better, the Jets or the Broncos? It's the Jets. The Jets too have an elite defense. That's why I'm picking them. But if you're telling me who would I pick, Zach Wilson or Russell Wilson, I'm still going with my boy Russell Wilson.
Oh yeah.
Come on, guys. Come
Come
on. Next game, I have the Dallas Cowboys against the 49ers. This is the best game of the week. This is Sunday Night Football. You have the Dallas Cowboys getting kicked out year after year from because of the 49ers just stomping on them in the playoffs. So this is a big-time revenge game for them. But the 49ers, to me, are the best team in the NFL. They have everything. They have defense. They have offense, a running game, a passing game. They have a quarterback that protects the ball. The defense is elite. So in this particular game, I'm still going with the best team in the NFL, the 49ers.
Ooh.
And for the Monday Night Football game, we have the Green Bay Packers against the Las Vegas Raiders. Man, Las Vegas Raiders, they have so many issues. Even if Jimmy Garoppolo comes back from concussion protocol, I'm still going to give the win for the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love is building so much chemistry with Dobbs and other playmakers. Christian Watkins is back. It's going to take some time for them to win, but I think they can build so much chemistry in this particular game. I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers for the win. And those are my picks for week 5.
The 49ers are minus 3.5, so they're favored by 3.5 points.
Which that means usually if it's over 3 points, Vegas does feel like it's more than likely that the 49ers are going to win. If it's below 3 points, then they're going to give it more. It's like a big time toss up.
I'm excited for this game though, because I mean, say what you want about the Cowboys. And if you look at the 49ers schedule, the only competent defense they faced are the Steelers, and that was in the first week, and they destroyed them 30-7, right? But that's the Steelers, right? They got other problems, so that 30-7 says something else to me.
What about the Arizona Cardinals, though?
I mean, they're not horrible either, but it's, again, they were able to put a little bit more of a fight.
Well, this is the same team. The 49ers are the same team that they might have even gone to the Super Bowl if Purdy didn't get injured. So
all right, but we have to see. This is they're going up against a really competitive defense here, and probably one of the best ones, right? Aside from obviously their defense. And what do you say aside from that, the Jets defense, right? You got very few of those. The Eagles, I wouldn't say after the Commanders game, not that good. I think this is going to be a great game to see who has the better defense. And yeah, I am scared because obviously the Cowboys offense, you can't really trust them right now.
Still big time suspect.
And that's a problem. But how can you expose Brock Purdy here into showing that, hey, maybe he does have his weaknesses? And I think this is the game. And the Cowboys, after a great showing, they got momentum. And I don't know. I have a feeling about this game. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'm not saying this is a clear win for the Cowboys, but I just have a feeling about this game.
The blueprint that I have for the Dallas Cowboys to beat the 49ers is in the defense for the Cowboys to be able to contain Christian McCaffrey. Either you have Micah Parsons just following that kid up in the middle running, or if he's going to be going as a receiver, because that's how the 49ers win with Christian McCaffrey. Yep. And you have to make that defensive line that the Cowboys have go after Purdy. So if you bring huge pressure on their offensive line and take off Christian McCaffrey out of the game, you do have a chance. That's the blueprint.
They got to also show what the heck they drafted Mozzie Smith for.
Where is he,
even
man?
Though he's a run stuffer.
He?
Where has he been? He's got to show up, man, because this is just looking like another Taco Charlton draft. It's not that good.
Yeah.
Right. He's got a chance. Maybe he's a slow burner, but they got some problems.
You got Armstrong, Fowler, DeMarcus Lawrence. They're bringing pressure. I don't see Mozzie Smith. I see Sam Williams more than him, and Sam Williams is
Well, yeah, I mean, Sam Williams is more of a speed rusher or like, power too as
but
well.
that's why they got
see more
Mozzie
as-
Smith for the running game. Even though,
Yeah, exactly.
well,
It's this is why I'm saying this is the moment where this is why we got Mozzie Smith to fix that problem of the running defense, right? This is exactly why we got him. And if he doesn't show up this game, if that defensive line don't show up this game, it's a real problem for the Cowboys, and they might meet themselves like they might meet against the 49ers again in the playoffs, and I'm gonna be traumatized, because what is it, like 3 times in a row?
yeah.
Yeah. That's the only thing. But I got a feeling about this one. Hopefully, it's gonna be a fun game.
What's
I'm
your
excited.
feeling?
I got a feeling that the defense is gonna be able to make them work and shut down Christian McCaffrey. And this is like the best opportunity because you look at the 49ers schedule. Who can stop Christian McCaffrey? The Browns? It's not the worst, right? Like they're pretty good, but I mean they've got some problems too there. The Vikings? No, they can't. They can't stop Christian McCaffrey. Bengals? Not really. Jaguars? No, not really. Buccaneers? Not really. Seahawks? No.
It is a good
Eagles?
test. It is a good test for the defense. To
They got the Eagles like weeks later, and I think that's the best competition, with the whole line that they got with Jalen Carter, which is insane that he's on that team.
and the push and tush. But it is a big test.
That's their next best competition
Yeah.
after the Cowboys
What-
is the Eagles.
What I'm concerned is the offense and the red zone.
Yeah.
We'll see how
Mhm.
that plays out.
Yep, they got to adjust to that. And again, Mike McCarthy, this is why you got hired. Where are you? Do your thing. And Dak Prescott, this is why you're getting paid millions of dollars. Where are you? Obviously, you can't depend on Dak, and we've talked plenty of times about this. So
I think it's gonna be a
they gotta-
low-scoring game.
you think so?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, like maybe if they're lucky, like I'm just kidding. 20s, both of them. 18.
In the 20s. Yeah, I can see that.
I can.
Well, I'm excited for that one. I think that's my game. Obviously, I mean, duh. Anyways, yeah, that's it for me. What about you guys? Got anything else?
Yeah, just ready for the next week.
Exciting. All right. Yeah. Thank you guys for listening to the very end. Would love to see you guys giving your opinion with us on social media, which is football_tailgaters on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Thank you guys again for listening, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.